I would like to welcome everyone to today's Power Your Lunch Hour program. I'm Vanessa Hansel, Assistant Director with the North 65 Chamber of Commerce, and I'm joined today by Executive Director Melissa Bettendorf, who will be co-facilitating today's meeting with me. We will be recording the presentation and the Q&A session, and it will be available to view at a later date via a link on our website. You are encouraged to introduce yourself and put your questions and comments in the chat as we move through today's presentation. We will also be taking questions by unmuting or using the raise your hand during the Q&A session following today's presentation. And now to get us going and kick off today's program, I'd like to introduce today's speaker, Steve Fredland, founder of Small Business. And he is joined today by Kirsten Lankane, owner with Pounce Media Marketing. They will be presenting today's online marketing rapid workshop. Please join me in welcoming Steve and Kirsten.
All right, thanks, Vanessa. I appreciate that very much. Yeah, we're excited to be here, and I know this is a Power Your Lunch Hour, and I know we only have a half an hour. And I know chamber folks, we all like to do a bunch of networking and all that kind of stuff, but today is really about let's give you guys some real good information and advice and get you guys going on this online marketing thing. As Vanessa mentioned, I'm Steve Fredland. I'm the founder of Small Business, and so we're really a community of small business owners, nonprofit leaders, business coaches, other experts who are really committed to seeing small businesses thrive. And by helping them thrive, we believe that then creates a more vibrant community. And so that is really our focus, is about helping small businesses and nonprofits, especially in rural areas like East Central Minnesota, where my wife and I are both fifth generation Cambridgeites. So this is a very comfortable audience for me. But Kirsten, I'll let you introduce yourself. Kirsten and I are pretty new, just a few months into starting to partner on some things, and she's got a great mind, and I'm super excited that she's able to join today. So why don't you give us a flavor of your background?
Okay, my name is Kirsten. I'm the owner of Pounce Media Marketing. I just started my business last month, so I'm still pretty fresh and new here. I am still actually a college student. I have 1 year left after this semester. I'm a mother of a 7-year-old, and yeah, I'm just trying to make a name for myself and make a difference, help people as much as I can.
Awesome. So I'm excited to partner with Kirsten. She's hungry. She gets this stuff. She's at the age that understands social media. And so she's already helped me sort of revamp my business in a good chunk of ways. So excited. So she'll just jump in. I'm going to pretty much fire hose this thing. And so you guys that are out there, if you have questions, put them in the chat. I'll try to notice them. Otherwise, just unmute and ask a question for Kirsten or I. That's fine as we go. But we don't have a ton of time, so we'll kind of get through these 7 steps. Basically, if you guys probably want to follow along here, have a blank sheet of paper, number it 1 to 7. If you like to number stuff in advance, we're going to basically have you answer 7 questions along the way, however it is that works for you guys. But this is really just an overview of the process. And the goal is really around how do we create more effective messages, whether that's on social media, whether that's in our newsletters. I think a lot of folks, we have great products, we have great passion, but we struggle with how do we actually get the messages out there in a way that makes sense and resonate with people that are out in virtual world. And that's what we want to do, right? We want to reach new audiences, reach new people. And so the goal of this workshop is to start equipping you with what you need to start putting together more effective messages for social media or otherwise. And so we got 7 steps that we will walk you through in a blur, in a fire hose, but bear with us, right? So the first thing we want you to think about is, what is your primary offering that you really want to grow, that you really want to promote? A lot of us have a number of things that we do. Some of us just have one. But for the sake of today's argument and today's process, think about, what's that one thing that you would really like to grow more? What's that one product, that one service? Maybe it's the thing that has the highest profit margin. Maybe it's something you're just starting to launch now. Maybe it's something you've been doing for a while that's sort of stagnant that you want to give new life to. Maybe it's just some area that you want to grow. And as you're thinking about what is that one area that you really want to expand, try to be specific. The more specific you can be, the better your messages are going to be. So for example, if you're in the roofing business, don't just say you want to grow roofing. Think about specifically what is that area that you want to grow. Maybe you want to grow the retail non-insurance roofing repairs. That's what you want to grow. Or if you're a financial advisor, don't just think, I want to grow my financial advice. I want to grow that program that I created that helps business owners who are 5 years away from retirement. So whatever it is that your business is, and I recognize a few of your names, I don't recognize all of your names, but think about what is that one specific thing that you would love to jumpstart more growth on, or to add a couple of clients related to. So once you've thought of that, write that down, put it in your laptop, however it is that you're doing this thing. But the question at the bottom, the product or service I really want to sell more of is what? So we'll give you a couple seconds here to write that in, fill that out. And Kirsten, feel free to jump in if you have anything to add there, but let's get that initial primary offering. All right, and I can't see everybody on here, so if you need more time, just yell stop. Otherwise, I'm going to keep powering through as if you guys can do this. So just yell stop if you need me to stop. Okay, so we've got our primary offering. The second thing I want you to think about is, who is your perfect client? And we call that an avatar. It's that one person that really exemplifies who your perfect client is. If there's a person that exists that you would like to have become a client of yours, who is that? And that person really will then represent your overall target market. So think about this in the context of that offering, that one thing that you want to grow in your business. Who is your perfect client for that offering? And this can be a real person, or it could be a fictional person. You might have the perfect client. You're like, maybe I don't tell them that they're my avatar, but I just have that in my mind that, oh, it's Mike Johnson. Mike is my perfect person. Or, it's Amber Johansson. I'm just making up names. I don't know. But who is that perfect person? Could be real or fictional, but start to figure out a bit more about who they are. Dig deeper into who they are. What is their name? How old are they? What do they do for a living? Where are they located? What is their life like? Like, what other things do they do? What else do they enjoy besides maybe just being a client of yours? And the reason we do this, and I'll admit, 5-10 years ago when I first heard this, I was kind of skeptical, like, I don't know. This has been incredibly valuable to my business. I used to think, boy, if I just focus on that one person, I won't get all the other people. No, you will. But what this does is help refine your messages. It doesn't mean you're going to exclude other people, but it creates messages that are very refined, very targeted, and it really helps you cut out the noise. And it clarifies then for Mike or Amber, it clarifies for them what you do, what you offer. I think so many of us small business owners struggle with just sort of, we go to a meeting, we say what we do, and it's just so ambiguous and vague because we don't want to exclude people, that people don't really know what it is that we do, or our target market doesn't hear this. So we want to focus in, we want to drill down, we want to find our perfect client, and we want to market to them specifically. So one thing that Kirsten has given for advice too, is she says, if they're real, go check out their social media. If you want to find out more about them, kind of stalk them a little bit, but find out who they are. What do they enjoy? What's their family like? All those kinds of things, without crossing any lines, of course. But if they're not real, think about somebody who might be like them and try to find out more about them. This is really about getting inside the mind and the heart of your perfect client, your avatar. So when you thought that through, answer this, kind of fill in the blank at the bottom for number 2. My perfect client's name is, and make it up if you don't have one. They are X years old. They live in what city? And they work as a what? Try to answer that question. And again, there's more to unpack here, but this is sort of priming the pump. So now we have our offering that we want to expand. Now we have our individual that we really want to market to. And the third thing we want to ask ourselves is, where are these people online, or this particular person, this avatar? So now we're not talking about the masses anymore. We're talking about Mike or Amber. Where are they online? Does Mike go online? Does Amber go online? If so, where? Where do they hang out online? Are they on social media? And social media is a very broad term, right? If they are on social media, where? Where are Mike or Amber hanging out? Are they on Facebook? Do they spend time there? Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Snapchat, LinkedIn, TikTok? Where are they? Because it's virtually impossible to create a strategy that covers all of these different social media platforms well. Okay, I've tried. It's very, very difficult. And you end up splitting your community all over, and you have, 5 people here and 15 people there. And you need to figure out where is your avatar? Where are they spending their time? And what are they doing out there? If you can figure that out, that's great. But start to hone in your message specific to the platform. If they spend all day on YouTube, if that's their thing, let's figure out a YouTube strategy. If it's on Facebook, let's figure out a Facebook strategy. But we really need to figure out, where are they on social media? Where are they online? And their age is going to help determine part of which platform they're using, right? There's not a lot of folks that are 50 plus that are on TikTok. There are some, of course, but not a lot of my people are on TikTok. But not a lot of the 20 somethings are on Facebook, or at least not as many as the 50-year-olds. So you got to kind of figure out, where are they actually at? And again, you're not targeting the masses, you're targeting your avatar. Think about that one person that you want to reach. Your whole goal is to reach that person and speak their language. So social media, are they reading newspapers? Kirsten might laugh. There's a lot of people my age that read newspapers. Like, actually, it's paper, Kirsten, in case you're wondering. It's actually something that comes in the mail. You get it sometimes once a day, sometimes once a week. Yeah, it's a real thing. But there are people that still do that. Is that where your target audience is? If they are, let's think of a strategy there. Are they listening to podcasts? I still talk to some people, they're like, what's a podcast? I have no idea. Or they say, hey, I watched your podcast. Well, you can't actually watch my podcast. You don't know what but then there's people I know that listen to like 20 or 30 podcasts a week. What is your avatar doing? Are they listening to podcasts? Are they reading blogs? Are they going to conferences? What else are they buying? Who are they buying it from? So at this point, we're just trying to figure out, where does your avatar spend their time? Where are they getting their information? Where are they getting their news? How are they getting fed in certain ways? So that's what we're looking for now. Where are they? So to answer the third question, I can find my avatar online at where? And for the sake of today, if you don't know, just guess. Give it your best guess, and then go back and try to figure that out. But where are they located? The fourth thing is, I think one of the most, well, they're all really important, but one of the most compelling pieces of this is your unique value proposition. And I think a lot of small business owners haven't actually taken the step to figure this out. This is a very, very, very important marketing principle that a lot of people don't understand. You need to find out where that niche is for you, because most of us, there's a lot of people doing what we do. And what we do, there's a lot of people that need what we do, but what do we specifically bring to the table? And that's what we want to highlight in our messaging and in our marketing. So there's a few different ways you can do this. The one way that I really like is sort of these concentric circles, Venn diagram idea of having 3 circles. The first circle is, you ask yourself, and this can be in the context of the key offering that you have, is, what do your customers need and care about? In the context of that, what do they need? Not what do you hope they need? What do you want them to need? What do they actually need? That is kind of a marketing mistake a lot of people make, is they say, hey, I've got this great product, and now I'm going to convince people they need it. This is starting with what they actually need. So think about your avatar, think about what do they need and what do they want in the context of your offering. And then you've got another circle that says, what do you do really well? All right, in the context of this offering, what do you do really well? But the third piece, what makes this a unique value proposition, that's a value proposition. You do something really well that they need, but what makes you unique is, what do you do really well that your competitors do not do really well? That's what's going to set you apart. You might still get clients based on what you and your competitors both do really well. But if you can figure out that thing that you do really well that your competitors don't, or what sets you apart, maybe you're really good at customer service. Maybe you're really good at analytics. Maybe you're really good with follow-up. Maybe you're really good with, the front end pieces of it. Maybe you're really good. I don't know, whatever it is for your business, what do you do well that your competition does not? That's going to become a core part of your message. We need to highlight that, because we need people to feel like, okay, man, I don't know, I need my house roofed. There's hundreds of roofers that need it. But for me, what's important to me is, I know that the job's going to be done well, and there's going to be ongoing communication where that's at. So I'm going to be looking for a roofer that's doing that. Like, I don't understand if they use the right sheeting or whatever. I'm just going to kind of trust that they do. So that's a different avatar. That's a different person that might care about the quality of what's underneath the shingles. What I care about, if somebody has me as their avatar, they know that I care about ongoing communication. I want to be kept in the loop. I want to know what's going on. And so if they do that better than their competition, I'm going to probably use them. So that's a unique value proposition for them. So answer that question at the bottom there. The unique value that I add to this client with this offering is what? What do you add that's uniquely valuable to your client that your competition doesn't? And this can be tricky, but I guarantee it's there. You just got to kind of mine for it. And so you might have to put yourself in a position where you think about your competitors, think about what they do. Are you doing things exactly the same? I'm guessing there's some differences. What do you do that is better than your competitors? And let's start narrowing in on that. So your unique value proposition is that the intersection of those two, but the exclusion of the third. Usually you look at Venn diagrams and you're looking for that little where they all three meet. You're looking for where those two meet, but it's not included in what your competition does really well. All right, the fire hose continues. Number 5, impact of your offering. This is also very important from a marketing messaging perspective. Ask yourself, what is your avatar's life like? So Mike or Amber, what is their life like before and after receiving your product or your service, whatever it is that you offer, after receiving your unique value proposition? In intangible terms, so start there in tangible terms, what is their life like before and after? Maybe you sell skin products. Maybe their life before was they had, their skin wasn't very good. Maybe after it was better. These are kind of the tangible sort of things. I see Jackie on there. So physical therapy, some of those wellness things. What was their life like? They had pain. No, they didn't after. These are the tangible things. But then ask yourself, what is their emotional change as a result of receiving your product or services? What are they feeling differently? So the tangible will take you so far. The emotional is where the power of the messaging is, right? We talk about at small business, we talk about we can do training, we can do these sorts of things, but ultimately what we want to do is move you from chaos to confidence. We want to move you from, man, I'm just feeling like I don't know what the next step is. I just don't know. It's so confusing. I don't know what to do. It's all just a morass. We want you to feel confident at the end that you're making the right decisions. And so that is more of an emotional feeling, right? The training, the equipping, things like this, these are all sort of practical sort of things, but tap into the emotional piece of it. What would you feel like if you were that client? If you were your avatar, what would you feel like before they received your service? And what would you feel like after? What's that emotional sort of piece? So the answer to number 5 there, my client used to feel this, and now they feel this. And again, the practical is important. You have to do that stuff right. But for the messaging, we want to tap into that emotion. I feel more confident. I feel more equipped. I feel more ready. I feel prettier. I feel smarter. Whatever that is, that's what we want to tap into. Okay. Not hearing anybody shouting yet. Number 6, your call to action. This is a part that, I spent 30 years in the corporate world, and just the last few years I've been out on my own doing my own business thing. And so I never really needed a call to action, right? I just showed up at my job. I did my thing. I was never had to be a salesperson in the jobs that I had. And now I'm more of a salesperson. And this is a piece that I always missed out on, that I think a lot of small business owners do miss out on in their regular interactions. And this is probably a good thing for you to think about for your chamber meetings, your BNI meetings, your Rotary meetings, whatever you do. What's the call to action? What do you want people to do after you put this message out there? What's the right next step for them to take? And I say that because what we're really trying to do is figure out what's their immediate next step right now. Like if you put out a message, very, very rarely is somebody going to move from, I heard your message to now I bought your product. Like that's usually not how it's going to work. It's going to be a process. And so what you want to do, this call to action, is really what is the right immediate next step you want them to do? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to email you? Do you want them to click on your website? Do you want them to follow you on Facebook? Like, what is the right next step for them to do? Don't try to take it too far. Don't, in your messaging, don't talk about how you got a 60-day money back guarantee. Don't talk about all of those nuances in that first messaging, that impression that you're giving them. Get to how you want them to feel, that they'll feel better by working with you. And then the next step for them to take is to just call me. email me, click on this button, read this thing, whatever that right next step is for you. So don't get ahead of yourself. Take the most simple next step, but do create a call to action. At the end of everything, there should be a call to action, and it can be subtle. It doesn't have to be real salesperson-y, but there should be something. Click here for more information. Enter your email address. Hey, get this free download. We created this thing. You can just click on our site, get this download. That's awesome. They don't need to know that they're going to submit their email address and that you're going to then enter them into a sales funnel, or that you're going to follow up with them in 30 days. They don't need to know all of that. You just want them to get some free information. Hey, I put this together for you. I thought this would be super helpful. Click here and you can get that download. That's your next call to action. So for this particular thing, what we're talking about today, for this area that you want to build, for this avatar, for this unique value proposition, think about the answer to this question. The most immediate next step I want them to take is what? What's the next step you want them to take in your specific situation today? Number 7, we're going to create the message. And this is really just bringing in the part. So you really don't need this cute little thing I put together with all the numbers, but it might help you. It might help you put this together. So now we have all the information we need to create the message. Who are you? We know who you're selling to. You know where you can find them. So you know what platform you're going to use. You know what they're currently feeling right now. You know what you're selling, clear and specifically. You know what you're selling and why it's different. And you know what they're going to feel after buying it from you, and you know what they should do next. So you have all the pieces now to put together a pretty powerful message, and you can just compact that into whatever platform you need. But these are the things that you really need to focus on, are these pieces. And if you can do this, and again, I want to reiterate, if you can somehow get them from feeling something before to something after, that is what's going to be really compelling to people, because now you're connecting with them on a real visceral level. You're meeting them where they're at. You're empathizing with them. If you can somehow in this messaging say, I know what it's like to have chronic back pain somehow. We know what it's like to be overwhelmed with taxes. We know what it's like to have a leaky roof. We know what it's like to live like this. We know what it's like to have your brakes squealing all the time. Somehow in that messaging, we understand, we meet people where they're at. And then we talk about what we do uniquely in the context of that, so that they can then feel more confident that they can drive around their neighborhood and their brakes aren't squeaking. Right? Whatever it is, tap into the emotion of what that's like to be embarrassed by having the squeaky brakes, to then feeling good when you pull up to a stop sign and not trying to really go slow so you don't squeal your brakes. Like, there's an emotion attached to that. And maybe I'm talking about myself too much here, but I understand that. So I want my mechanic to be able to tap into that, to say, man, I know what that's like. We can get you to the point where you're not embarrassed by your brakes, and talk about how they do things differently to make sure that it appeals to me. So that really is a fire hose version of this thing. So curious if there's any questions. We got about 5-6 minutes left. Any questions, or if anybody wants to share their stuff, I think that would be interesting for the rest of the group to hear. Otherwise, Kirsten, if you want to jump in, or Melissa or Vanessa, feel free to jump in, but the rest of the time is yours. I'm done with my fire hose.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt you at all. You're going.
I was
you got covered
steamrolling,
anyway. Yep, you were. You did great.
Thank you. Any questions or comments? Easy group. So that means one of two things, right? Either, well, it could be three things, right? Either I didn't get it, or, oh, that was really good, I'm going to apply this, tomorrow, or somewhere in between, or people are just really shy. So no pressure. Don't feel like you have to talk, but we're here if you have any questions.
I thought it was good, Steve. I thought the message was clear. It was relayed well, and I think it's really usable information.
Thanks, Katie.
Yeah.
Kirsten and Steve, can you guys speak a little bit more to putting these 7 steps into play, but then maybe doing some type of spending money on ads for the different platforms?
Kirsten, you want to take that one?
Yeah. So depending on the platform, it's the costs are going to vary, but it also depends I would recommend trying to get organic feedback before spending any money. The more you interact with people on social media, the more people are going to see your posts and whatever it is you're offering, the more you talk to people. And in some cases, you don't even have to spend any money on there at all. I mean, you can spend, like on Facebook, for example, you can spend about $4 to boost a post and it will probably see, 1,500 people more than it would originally. But a lot of times you don't even have to do that if you're active and you're constantly on there. But I would set aside, talk about a budget and see what you have to spend on those things. That's also an important aspect, but did that answer your question?
Yeah, it definitely did. I think what I'm also hearing from you is I guess I can speak kind of in this group. The more that we can kind of support each other businesses on Facebook, the more you're going to be able to see that information
Right.
organically. So whether it's just as simple as liking a post, or maybe even like it's the chamber event today, just saying that you're interested or attending, that organically is going to get a bigger reach then.
Yeah,
Okay,
I think collaboration is huge on this stuff, and it can be as informal as that. Like, let's just sort of commit to, let's just like each other's posts, let's share each other's posts. All that kind of stuff is huge. And Kirsten's taught me about, I was just doing Facebook groups, for a while, like, man, I just can't get traction. People join the group, but it's hard to get engagement. She's like, well, you need to use Pages, like Pages. And she explained all the algorithms and all this weird stuff or whatever. I'm like, oh, and now I just started doing that. I'm like, wow, this is a lot different. We're getting a lot more traction, because I was at the point like you are, Jackie, of, well, should I be doing ads? Should I be spending money? And I think there's a time and a place for that, for sure. But just going to Pages was sort of a small little nuance. But now getting people to like each other's page, like each other's posts, comment on each other's posts, and it takes a little bit of time, but I've started time blocking now, so I can just sort of do that. But yeah, I think that's where, whether it's formal or informal, just like people in the chamber, like each other's stuff, like the chamber stuff, promote it. That organic growth works the algorithms, if I'm understanding it right, Kirsten, that
Yep.
now more people are going to see it. If we put something on our page and we get 20 people that like it or comment on it, now more people are going to see it because of that organic type of growth.
Right. Any other
wondering
questions?
if we don't. I was just wondering if maybe after this we share everyone's organization, and so we can seek each other out, as part of a group to get this rolling for people.
Yeah,
we can
I think
provide
it'd be
that.
great to have like a chamber, like a informal, whatever group of chamber members that are committed to liking each other's stuff, get notified and then like it. I mean, just in this group, about 15 people, if we all liked each other's stuff, that's 15 likes or engagements with every post. That's going to help grow that organic growth. So I think that'd be great. I don't know how to facilitate that, Melissa, but I would be in. I'd be part of that thing. You like my page, I like your page. If I get a notification, I'll say something about how great you are. We'll write each other reviews. That stuff adds up huge. If we can each get 10 or 15 reviews on our Facebook page or a Google My Business page, that drives organic growth in a big time. So then when you put the messages out there, you're not putting the messages out there to your six family members. You're putting them out to the hundreds of people that you have following your page.
Watch the follow-up email and we'll work on facilitating that. Vanessa?
Are there any other questions that anyone had for Steve or Kirsten today? If not, I just wanted to thank them for being here today for that great session. And I wanted to make a real quick announcement before we leave that for our chamber members in attendance today, I wanted to share about a new chamber benefit. You now have access to join Steve and the small business community at no additional charge to you through a partnership between Steve and small business and the chamber. This provides you access to live and interactive discussions with experts in Steve's network, business roundtable discussions, access to member-only videos, and then a private Discord channel with access to each other and the experts that are in the community. So you can find out more about that by contacting Steve. Steve, I don't know if you want to drop your contact in the chat real quick.
Yeah,
You can
through my
also
email there, but yeah, feel free to email or just check out smallbusiness.com for that deal. And yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Yeah, that's cool. It's a $27 a month membership that we're just making free to all of our community partner members. So we think it's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, and also I wanted to mention that on north65chamber.com, there is a business directory where you'd be able to search for other chamber members, some of the folks that are on today, and connect with each other that way too. But Melissa and I will follow up on an email to all of you with some ways that we can keep the momentum going and keep the connections going. We hope that you can join us next time for Power Your Lunch Hour that's held on the 4th Tuesday of every month. These 30-minute sessions are designed to provide you with focused, valuable training, resources, and important business connections. So check north65chamber.com for the latest information. I can stay on Zoom for the after the conclusion today for a little while if there's any further discussion or to answer any questions, but otherwise we'll wrap things up. Thank you everyone for joining us today, and have a great rest of your day.